as we're discussing the tribes, just have in mind that the tribes are, how can I put it? They are like Hashem's name, which means that Hashem has a Merkava. Merkava means the chariot. In upper worlds, specifically in the second world of Yetzirah, there is a chariot. So there is, think of it this way, there's God. The chariot is like that. On his right side there is a lion. On the left side there is an ox. That's that's also to do with Mashiach ben David. On the right there's ox is the Yosef. In front there is a man, a human face of a man. That would be Moses in the future. And here is on the bottom is David. We discussed this before. It's the eagle with the tail of a snake. That's complicated, and I'm not going to go into it. It's just the idea of Hashem's chariot. So he rides on those four. These are of course not physical. They are spiritual, like chayot. They are like chayot means animals, or it's a kind of angel. Let's put it this way. So Hashem is riding on this. And lion has four faces, and so on. It doesn't matter. They all have four faces. So, as the 12 tribes were traveling through the desert, they would be this would be approximation of how that would look. There's the, it's called machaneh. Machaneh means the four, in Hebrew is machanot, or encampment, I guess, in Hebrew, in English. Encampment. All right, so you have Yud. This would be, up here is north. This would be south. This would be east. And this is west. They traveled this way. So therefore, on the right side, there would be south, which is right. And this would be left. Okay, so inside there is the tent of meeting, which is the Shekhinah. Then there is three, I think it's 1, 2, and 3, which are the descendants of Levi. And then there is Moses, Aaron, and the priests here, and the Leviim are here. So this would be Machaneh Shekhinah, it's called. The encampment of Shekhinah inside. Shekhinah inside. Then you have 3 tribes over here, 3 tribes over here, approximately, 3 tribes here, and 3 tribes here. This is the front one, which is Yehuda. It's called Machaneh, the encampment of Yehuda. Okay, and they were traveling this way. Yehuda is first. So what we're saying here is this. We're saying a Shekhinah in the middle, Moses and Aaron and their children, and Aaron's children. And we have the Leviim, So Kohanim and Leviim together with Shechina inside. On the outside there is 12 tribes. You have 3, 3, 3, and 3. And this is like if you would be doing a Kabbalistic meditation, you would see there's Yud, there is Hey, there is Vav, and then there's Hey at the end. And what that means is that Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey is in front of you. Anyway, I'm going to go to the next one. So this is just to give you an idea of the way they were traveling. And there was 12. So Hashem is inside and with the Jewish people. Okay? He's the center, and we are all 12 around. So there is a tribe of Levi inside and 12 outside. Now, let's go to the next one. And this, if you would be sitting and doing a meditation, Kabbalah meditation, which means you would be sitting, so to speak, inside, you would meditate that there is above, above, there's below, then there is 4, there is east, west. So if you were sitting here, right, you would see in front there is a Yud, then there's a Hey, then there's a Vav, and then there's a Hey. So Yud in front of you, Hey on the right, it's like your right hand. Vav is on the left hand, and behind you is a Hey. Then above you, there's the name Ehyeh, and below you is the name Adni. That way you have the 3 names of Hashem. Aleph, Hey, Yud, and Hey. Below is Aleph, Daled, Nun, and Yud. And in the middle there is Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey. This is 12-letter name of Hashem. If you put them together, one after the other, you'll have 12 letters. And what you do, the way to sit and meditate is to close your eyes and be sort of in the space of Hashem's names. And you'd have right, left, forward, and back. Then above you is Ehyeh, and below you is Adni. And that way, all of this is, you are surrounded by godliness. All right? This has everything to do with the 12 tribes, which I'm about to explain to you. Any questions on this before I go any further? Okay, no questions. Now let's do the next one. Now I want to discuss the idea of 12 tribes. Again, it is a method of continuing drawing down godly energy from above to below into the world. So the Jewish people ultimately, according to Jewish mysticism, the Jewish people are not part of the world. They are in between. They are conduit. In between Hashem and the world. Right? We are the transformer. We are the outlet, the connecting piece in between Hashem and the world. And Hashem says to the Jewish people, you are supposed to do it. So by being a proper chariot, a proper configuration of 10 Sfirot, we are drawing down and bringing down the energy of Hashem, God's energy, down into the world. That's our job. So when we were chosen at Sinai, we're not just chosen just to sit at home and do nothing and have 2,800 servants like it will be in the future and sit and do nothing and just receive $1 million check every Monday morning. That is not the job. It's an illusion. We have a job to do. And as I've explained many times before, if you have a job, then you are measured by the work you do. Whatever you do, whatever you perform, your action and fulfillment of your purpose is your value in life. Remember this. If you're looking for meaning in life, you are the job of the Jewish people, as I might as well write it, I told you this already before. The word Yehudi is taking the Yud and the Hey of Hashem and bringing it down. Yud and Hey is Hashem's name, and ultimately this is not only the energy of Hashem in the world of Atzilut, it's also the energy in the infinite world. And all of this is brought down by Yehudi. Can you see this? The 5 letters Yehudi. This is what in Hebrew this would read as Yehudi. That means a Jewish person. That's what our job is. So let's go to the next one, and I want to show you how this works. All right, now let's do it this way. We have the idea of Yud, and then Hey, and then Vav, and then Hey. Hashem's name, again, the basic formula, which is applied in many different ways. Above them, there is the crown. The crown has 3 parts, which is also Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and they are also to do with 3 cardinal sins of idolatry, murder, and adultery, plus the 3 cardinal good things, which is belief in Hashem, and Shabbat and mitzvot, right? So let's put it this way, the 3 crowns. Ultimately, the crown is Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, then coming down to 12 tribes. But here that we're talking about the 12 tribes by themselves. Now, I mentioned that each one is like machaneh, encampment. So the first one is Yehuda, and so on, right? So each one has 3, like I drew before. So each letter represents 3 tribes. This is very interesting if you actually understand the full scope of how far this reaches. We have 12 tribes. The first one is Yehuda. I don't want to draw all of them. Maybe we should make a table and share it with everybody. Yehuda is the first, up to Dan. Now this 12, the name of Hashem breaks into these 12. That means 12 influences into 12 tribes, into 12 mazalot, into 12 combinations of Hashem's name. So Yehuda is actually Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey properly. Right? So the first, talking about 12 months, this is also here. So the Yehuda is the month of Nisan. This is quite involved, right? That's Hashem's formula for creation. So Nisan is the first month. 7th month is Tishrei. Okay, so 7th month is the beginning of the lower part. If you remember, there is the higher part and the lower part. So the upper part is 6 months between Nisan and Elul. And this is Tishrei up to Adar. We are now, by the way, in Shvat, which is here. Shvat is in Hebrew called Dli, which is water carrier. Right, so what we have is the beginning. The Nisan is the Aries. This goes really, really deep. All of these formulas, and Hashem's name is here. So this is Yud K Vav K normal, and this is this would be Yud. Actually, Yud Hey, and then Vav and Hey. So the first part and the second part are switched. This is the Vehaya. Can you read Hebrew? Vehaya. So when we say Baruch, when we start prayer, the official start prayer is Baruch Sha'amar Vehaya Ha'olam. Baruch She'amar Vehaya Ha'olam. Blessed is the one who spoke, 10 Commandments, and there was, and the world started existing. So according to our result, this word Vehaya gives away the formula for Vav Hey Yud Hey, which is Tishrei, which means that this expression is to do with creation of the world in Tishrei. And we said many times the word Bereshit equals Aleph Be Tishrei, first of Tishrei. That's the 7th month. Okay, so what we need to understand is that there are 12 tribes, and there are 12 months, and 12 mazalot, and 12 permutations of Hashem's name. And there are other things to know that, for example, in Shvat, what are you supposed to do in Shvat? In every month, you're supposed to work on something else. On Shvat, we have to work on eating. So we need to have a look at our kashrut. And eating is not only physical, but also what comes into the body, through the eyes and through the ears as well. Adar is the idea of laughter. Have to be careful what you're laughing about, right? So therefore, all 12 parts, we go through the cycle of the year, 12 months. And in each month, you have to work on something else. Okay, the tribe for this number 11 here. The tribe is Asher. The letter with which Hashem creates this month is the letter Tzadik. Okay, now next question is, what do we need to do with this? Is that you might say, wait a minute, that's 12. What happened to, so this is 12 tribes. What about Kohanim and Leviim? Where are they? So the answer is that there are 3 parts of crown. The lower part of crown is Leviim, Levi. The upper part is Kohen or Kohanim. Leviim, Kohanim. Then there is the Moses of the generation, of each generation. Now he remains Moses of each generation, so all of this is in every single generation. This repeats itself. Obviously, there are millions of Jews from all the different tribes, but there's only one Moses. He's called Echad Shebador, one. There cannot be two. Now, originally, Hashem speaks to Moses because Moses is the very beginning of all of this. But since Moses was so humble that he didn't want to be both the leader and the high priest. He was going to be the high priest originally. But because he refused and because he argued with Hashem, so Hashem says, okay, you're going to be a Kohen. Hashem said to Moses, because of your refusal and all your arguments, you're going to be Levi, and your brother Aaron will be the high priest instead of you. But it's not my original initial decision. It's instead of. However, as a leader, Moses remained, so to speak, is like a king. He can't be actual king because he's not from the tribe of Yehuda. Yehuda is up here, number one, if you remember. So he's like a king. So we have two ideas of king in Torah. One is actual king and one is operative king. That's the idea of operation. So the best example of an operative king, that's Moses. Best example of actual king is David, King David. Although Chizkiyahu was also termed an extremely good king. But the ultimate king will be Mashiach. So Mashiach is going to be number one over here in his generation. There is no possibility whatsoever to be two people here. However, this part, hang on a second, how am I going to write it here? All right, let me just, I gotta do this part again. And I'll finish with this. So we have the idea of crown, three parts. So we have 10 sfirot. All of this is, let's just put this, all of this is 10 sfirot. Right? All of that together. The 10 sfirot are Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey. Each one has 3, and everything fits perfectly. 10 sfirot, from Chokhmah down to Malchut. Now we go above the 10 sfirot. Above the 10 sfirot, there is a crown, and it has 3 parts. 1, 2, and 3. 3 is 10 sfirot of Arich Anpin. That's let's call it, this is the higher crown, and this is the lower crown. Okay, the higher crown has 3 upper and 7 lower. This 3 upper is the only place which no one can reach except Mashiach. But what we are told is, and I'm going to have to explain this to you, is that Mashiach is going to be himself upper and lower. So the upper is really Mashiach ben David. Sorry. He will be Mashiach ben David, and this is Mashiach ben Yosef. And he is going to be one person, Ha-Mashiach. And he cannot die. I know some people are going to come up with all kinds of theories, and as I always say, I only invite people who are looking for the truth. Which truth? Not me, not my truth. I'm not here representing myself. I'm just a speakerphone, as I told you many times. This is the truth of Hashem only. The only truth is that counts. Everything else is not truth. You see, there are two things, two sources, like I said many times. The truth comes from Hashem, which is in the Torah. That's it. Everything else is not truth, which is an illusion. It may sound good, it may look good, it may smell good, it may even feel good and right, but it's wrong. It's an illusion. There's only one truth. And if you want to go to the truth, you have to go to the Torah. That's the only source of truth, because Hashem put the truth into the Torah. And I'm going to be explaining this, obviously not now, but you need to understand this. So Mashiach ben Yosef, we have actually gone through this already. We are now just about here. But that's not the topic right now. This is only general information. So this is the picture of leader of generation, Kohanim, Levihim, and the 12 tribes, which are like, now this spark of Mashiach is upper part here, number one, but each generation up to Mashiach is not actually having the whole proper information from there. That's why there will be things unfinished. And Mashiach is going to come and do all kinds of what's called tikkunim, which is rectifications of Torah in many, many different ways. So because only he is private to this area, and up to him, all kinds of things are going to have various mistakes and unfinished business. Anyway, this is the picture of the Am Yisrael, of the 12 tribes, and Levim, Kohanim, and the leader of the generation. And above each and every leader of the generation, there is this one Mashiach. And when we're going to be reincarnating, when we're going to be resurrecting, then each generation is going to be led by its own leader, who is the Moses of the generation. He's also called the Mashiach of his generation. There cannot be, it's impossible to have one leader of two generations or two leaders in one generation. Just like we don't have two people with two heads, or the other way, one head and two bodies. That doesn't work. It can't be. It's not an image of God. So I explained to you the Hashem's name, which is like the image of God, which is the patriarchs, the fathers and mothers. And here is the explanation of the 12 tribes. That's the formula of the 12 tribes in Hashem's name. Okay, and that's the Hashem's name is upon all the Jewish people. This way. All right. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you today. And the main thing to take away from here is that Hashem's name is upon the Jewish people. Shimcha nikra alamcha Yisrael. Your name is called upon all the Jewish nation as one. And therefore we are supposed to take this name and bring it down into the physical world. So thank you very much for joining me. See you next time.